Assalamu alaikum class 8. Today we'll start our first chapter, a witty answer. Take out your books and open page number 7. Firstly, I read the chapter and you listen to me attentively and underline the difficult words, and then you will find out the meaning yourself and do them in your copy neat and clean. Through WhatsApp we will give you the date for getting your copies checked. A witty answer. Underline the word witty. This is a story by one of the most famous writers of olden times. In those days, especially trained hawks were used in hunting. A certain nobleman, whose name was Corrado, was a gallant and worthy citizen, delighting much in hounds and hawks. Having caught a fat young crane one day with his hawk, he sent it home to his cook with orders to prepare it for supper. The cook, who was a poor and simple fellow, trussed the bird, underline the word trussed, and set it over the fire to roast. When it was nearly done, a friend chanced to come into the kitchen, and being attracted by the good smell, earnestly begged for a leg of the crane. "Nay, you shall have no leg for me," said the cook. Now class, come to the next page, page number 8. Annoyed at its refusal, underline the word refuse. The friend replied, "Very well, then you need never again expect any favor from me." At once a quarrel arose and was carried to a great height between them. At length, for the sake of peace, underline the word sake of, the cook was obliged, underline the word obliged, to carve a leg from the crane and give it to his friend. So the bird was served up at supper with only one leg. Corrado, who had a friend at supper, underline the word supper, with him, at once sent for the cook and asked angrily what had become of the other leg of the crane. The cook replied after a moment's thought, "A crane has only one leg, sir." "What do you mean?" cried Corrado in great wrath. Underline the word wrath and also underline crane. "Only one leg, fool. Do you think I have never seen a crane in my life?" "Believe me, sir, it is as I say, and I will prove it to you whenever you please from a living crane," declared the cook. "Well," said Corrado, who did not choose to have any more words in the presence of his friend, "as you offer to show me a thing which I have never seen before, I am content to have it proved tomorrow morning. But if you are wrong, as indeed you must be, I will thrash you," underline the word thrash, "so that you will remember tomorrow as long as you live." There the matter ended that night, but Corrado, whose anger at the man's impudence, underline the word impudence, had hardly allowed him to get any rest, rose early. He called for horses and took the cook along with him towards the river, where he had often seen plenty of cranes at that early hour of the day. "We shall soon see," he said to the cook. Class, come to the next page. "How much truth was in your words spoken last night?" The cook was now fairly at his wits, and gladly would he have made his escape, underline the word escape, but he knew that there was now little hope of doing so. All of a sudden, as they came in sight of the river, he happened to see before anyone else a number of cranes. They were each standing on one leg. as cranes usually do when they are sleeping. With a sigh of relief, the cook pointed them out to Corrado, saying, "Now, sir, you yourself can see that I spoke nothing but truth when I said that cranes have only one leg." Corrado looked at the bird, then replied, "Yes, true, but I will show you different." Then riding up to the birds, he cried out, "Shoo, shoo." At once each crane set down the other foot, and after taking a step or two, they all flew away. Corrado then turned to the cook and said angrily, "Well, Rog," underline the word Rog, "do you believe now that cranes have two legs? What can you say to save yourself from the thrashing that I promised you?" "Only this, sir," replied the cook, making a brave effort to gather his wits. "Had you but called shoo shoo to that crane last night, it might have put down the other leg too, as these birds did now. So you might have been saved all the journey." "Well said, fellows, well said," declared Corrado, laughing. "Your ready wit has saved your skin. Let you turn and go home." Thus the cook escaped a beating and made peace with his master.